that Victorian is.
That's what I told that.
Well, maybe that's fixed that before. Water runs down there.
Yeah, yeah.
What is this?
Something from, oh, I guess that's from
Expecting somebody else to here.
Yeah, but the game last week was better.
Good evening, everyone.
You want to be closer to
It's good to see a good crowd here tonight. Hello. Are we on? Good evening, everyone. Glad to see you all here tonight. We proceed each council meeting with a word of prayer and pledge of allegiance. If you would, if you'd like to, please feel free to join us. If you would bow with me. We thank you, Lord, for your grace, your goodness, your mercy, and your great power. Pray for all of our decisions tonight, that they would be in line with your will. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Cummings, how are you? Boy, do I need to turn this one?
Now call this meeting to order. Mr. Garrett, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hawkins?
I am here.
Mr. Cummins?
Here.
Ms. Mel?
Here.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Here.
Ms. Webb?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Isby?
Here.
You should have received a copy of the November 28, 2023 City Council meeting minutes. Any corrections, changes, or comments?
Make a motion for approval as submitted. Second.
Have a motion and a second to submit, to accept the minutes as submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. All right. First up, we have Economic Development Committee, and we have a resolution approving the issuance of bonds to assist in the financing and expansion of renovation of an industrial facility in the city of Conway. I think Mr. Corey Parks is here to speak to this. Corey, are you here to speak to this? Well, it's hard to hear.
Yeah, so I'll get to exercise the same or share the same thing that I always do. Appreciate y'all's continued support of economic development and our ability to facilitate the creation of more and better jobs in Conway. This is the preliminary step in a project that is a competitive project, and so this will allow us to continue down the process. Hopefully, best case scenario, we'll get to come to you with some additional information that'll actually talk about the specifics of the company, more detail on the industry that they're in, and also what the capital investment and the job creation actually looks like. But anonymity is of the utmost importance to this potential company, because they're in a competitive environment and we're competing with two other locations, and so they don't want to give their competitors any tip of their hand, and so would appreciate you all voting positively for this, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to present this to you in the future with additional detail. But happy to answer any questions, as well as Gordon.
Do we have a time frame that we might be looking at?
Time frame is relative. I would expect that they will probably be operational maybe July of next year. That could be, depending on how some things go, that could change, but that's best case scenario, I think.
When you say operational, that tells me we might be in a little better shape than our two competing communities.
Well, unfortunately, when it comes to economic development, when it gets to this stage, we're all on paper the same. And so hopefully our charm will impress them, and our ability to have a pro-business environment will differentiate us from the other places. But I think that it's the best place that they could have their operation, and I know you all do too as well. So we'll see.
Thank you.
Were you talking about Gates specifically when you said charm?
Oh, not Gates.
Okay.
Not Gates. It's like Brad,
Okay.
Gates, then like probably me.
No, Gates. Gates.
Good thing this isn't recorded or anything.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
I know
right,
he's watching too.
right, yeah. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Council, back to you.
Make a motion for the adoption of the resolution, and Mr. Garrett, I have it as R 2370. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. Next up, we have Community Development, Mr. Hawkins. Sir, I will turn this over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item here is consideration to approve waiving all three readings for the ordinances for tonight's city council agenda, and I would accept a motion to do that.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve all three readings for all ordinances tonight. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. Mr. Hawkins.
Next
Oh,
item
this
is,
item has been pulled, Mr. Hawkins.
I'm sorry,
This first item here on 201 Club Lane has been pulled.
Club Lane has been pulled.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. And then we will go to the third item, which will be B3, and this is consideration to approve the annual nominations for boards and commissions. And you have a slate of people that's been handed to us for the Airport Advisory Committee, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, the Diversity Advisory Council, the Historic District Commission, the Oak Grove Cemetery, the Planning Commission, and the Robinson Cemetery Board. And those people are listed there. If you would like for me to read them, Mr. Mayor, I would, or if council has any questions about any of those individuals, we'll talk about that.
Would you mind reading them, Mr. Hawkins, for the folks on TV?
Be glad to do that. On the Airport Advisory Committee, the recommendation is Jason C. Travis with a term that would expire December 31, 2027. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Board, the recommendation is Kimby Akins, whose term would expire December 31, 2026. For the Diversity Advisory Council, Corey, I've caught whatever it is you have. I can't talk. The Diversity Advisory Council, Jacqueline Galt, with a term to expire December 31, 25. Jalen Hughes, with a term to expire December 31, 2027. And Candy Corona, a term that would expire December 31 of 2027. The Historic District Commission nominees are Marianne Smith Black, with a term to expire December 31, 24. Corey Park, with a term to expire December 31, 26. Joshua Hamilton, with a term to expire December 31, 26. Nathaniel Johnson Jr. with a term to expire December 31 of 26. On the Oak Grove Cemetery Board, two nominees, Kathy McDaniels with a term to expire December of 2028, and Brandy Keith with a term to expire the same time, December of 2028. On the Planning Commission, the nominees are Mallory J. Winburn, with a term to expire December of 2025. Jeffrey Brooks Davis, with a term to expire December 2028. And Tanisha Roundtree, with a term to expire December 2028. And the final board is Patrick Block. This is the Robinson Cemetery Board, by the way. Patrick Block is the nominee with a term to expire December of 2028, and I move that we accept this slate of prospective board members.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve these nominees for these boards. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins.
Yes, sir.
Back up, sir. Back to you.
One more.
We have one more.
One more. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Resolution to amend a resolution regarding boards and commissions, and for this, we have a resolution to be read. It's Resolution R-2371.
71.
Is Mr. Coddington here? Okay, well, you can address it then.
He's running a little late. So Terry is our bicycle and pedestrian coordinator, and he has taken on the role of the BPAP board. And so he would like to see that board down to 7 members. He has 11 members. A lot of ex officios are also on that board, so he's just trying to get that board at a manageable number to where they can meet quorum and kind of get back involved with the bicycle and pedestrian duties. So, that was
Very
it.
good. Any other questions? Any questions of Felicia?
I wish I had some for you.
Back to you, council.
Make a motion for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this resolution for the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Board for the City of Conway. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Hopper.
Yes, sir, Mr.
No, I was
Mayor.
thanking you for reading all those names a while ago, and I said, back up, we had one more. I knew you had one more.
That's-
Thank you, Andy.
We're good, yes, indeed. Glad to.
Next up, we have our Public Service Committee, and the first item on it is the consideration, remove, and dispose of inventory for the Conway Sanitation Department. Mr. Hopper.
Good evening.
Hey, Joe.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
For your consideration tonight, we got 3 pieces of equipment that we need to move off our asset list. 2 trucks and an old horizontal compactor that are not in use.
Do you trade these in on new equipment, or do we just?
We auction those.
Okay, all right. Good. Thank you, Joe.
Make a motion that we allow these to be removed from the inventory. Second?
I have a motion and a second to allow for the removal of this equipment from the Conway Sanitation Department. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Passes 7-0. I think you're back up, Mr. Joe.
Yes, sir.
Resolution approving the purchase of a front-load refuse truck for the sanitation department.
So this is a regular budgeted purchase this year. Plan was to purchase this through the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract. We received quotes and recommend going with the lowest quote of $358,538.49 for a Mack half-pack front-end loader.
Make a motion for the adoption of the resolution R2372. Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution to purchase a front-load refuse truck, sanitation department. Any further discussion?
I just got a question.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between that Mac and the other one?
The trash body,
Sorry, so what?
the one the body, so you have a chassis and body. This is a Howell body, and the other one is a Whitkey body. So
Okay,
it's
so-
2 separate companies.
I mean, is any difference for, I'm just looking at the price, is that not much difference? Are we gaining more by getting the one?
We run primarily Howell bodies, so I mean, right now we've got parts inventoried for those.
Okay.
We do have a Whitkey as well, but we only have one of those, so.
Okay, that's fine. I just saw the price, it wasn't that much difference. I was making sure we're getting a better product.
Yeah, they were pretty competitive on prices this time.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Council, back to you.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrett, call for the vote, please.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Mr. Hopper, you again. Rear loading refuse truck, going from the front to the back.
Yes, sir. So this is actually for a fund balance allocation. We budgeted back in 2020 and 21 to buy some trucks, and we ended up not purchasing those trucks just due to the unknown circumstances with the supply chain and things like that. So it kind of put us behind on our replacement schedule, and we're trying to play catch up. So on this particular purchase, we did obtain quotes, and again, we are recommending going with the lowest quote. It's a 2024 Freightliner with a Heil Durapack for $248,727.72. We will have approximately $11,000 remaining in our capital fund from 2023 that we're also going to put towards that purchase.
Make a motion for adoption of the ordinance 023-102 along with the emergency clause. Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance with the emergency clause. Sir?
Mr. Hopper, how soon do you think you'll get these?
I think we'll be lucky if we see them by summertime. It's kind kind of hit and miss. Occasionally, the chassis dealers will have a chassis on the ground, and we can get them a little quicker, but it's a coin toss.
Ms. Isby, is your ordinance showing the emergency clause?
Yes, I said with the emergency.
Okay,
clause.
I thought so, all right. Mine, thinking mine is not, that's good, as long as
Oh,
y'all
yes,
got it. All right.
mine is.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance with the emergency clause. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Aye.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
In the emergency clause, Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Aye.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Thank you.
Those both pass 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Hopper. Next up, we have Public Safety Committee. Chief, try not to smile when you come up here. This will be Chief Tapley's last meeting as police chief.
We've all got lots of questions.
Tara, try not to smile.
So this is an easy one. We have some money that's been reimbursed to us for extra duty services, insurance proceeds, and restitution. And we're just asking for you to accept the money and place it in the appropriate funds.
Make
Move
a
for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance appropriating funds for the Conway Police Department. Any further discussion?
I wanted to go ahead and say that before somebody started questioning you about it.
I appreciate that.
Mr. Pregnant pause there for a moment.
Ms. Webb? Ms. Webb?
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Thank you, Cap.
Thank you. What was that ordinance number?
That was 023-103.
103. Thank you, sir.
Next, we have our finance meeting, finance discussions. This is for the budget for fiscal year 2024. Mr. Winningham is here. As usual, we've adopted a policy in the city. We go under spending freeze the first 3 months for sure. And if things look tight, then we will expand that to the 4th and 5th month. So we will stick to that policy. It's worked out well for us in the past. Our department heads have worked well within that. We just spend money on what we have to keep things running. And then if things look good financially across the board in the nation and everywhere else in the city, then we start releasing funds like that. So that's our plan to go with that again this year. There was about 3% over revenues, what we're expecting, Tyler. So that being said, I'll turn it over to Mr. Winningham.
So overall, we've got we're required by state law to pass a balanced budget, and we've done that and then some. So all of our funds are at least a break-even budget position. We have a few funds with budgeted surpluses, so that's good. We've got a 3% cost of living adjustment in for all employees, all full-time employees, and that came to us at a cost of about $1.2 million. We've got 555 full-time positions in this budget. A few of them are new. We've got funding in for a Freedom of Information Special Projects Coordinator. We've got 5 new police officer positions to help the department with coverage and patrol. And then we've got staffing additions in parks for the soccer facility that's going to come open. So we've got a programs manager, and then we've got 2 staff members to support that programs manager at the soccer facility. Also in parks, we've got now budgeted the community center director, which that position has been filled, and then we're planning to hire an aquatics director at some point during the year. So we've got that position partially funded for the year, not fully funded. In the street department, they requested to add a right-of-way inspector. That position is in there now. And then in the sanitation department, we are going to add an additional commercial driver, a CDL driver. So those are the new ones in there. Once again, we have no increase in health insurance.
Wow. That's great.
It's great. We had a slight increase in dental for 24, but health is going to remain where it has been for the last, I think, about 3 years. So we've been doing good there. Like I said, we've got surpluses budgeted in some funds. In the general fund, you'll see we've got $120,000 surplus budgeted. On the revenue side, we plugged in a 3% projected increase in sales tax, which looking at the history of sales tax and talking to other cities in the state and in the area, that's, I think, a very reasonable and very attainable goal. And you can see in the revenue section there, we budgeted some slight increase in the other taxes, but those don't really grow just a whole lot. We're done with our contribution to reserve. We made that last payment here just recently in 23. So now that general fund reserve account that the city council established, it's back up to $2 million. So we no longer have, we were funding that back at $250,000 a year. So we were able to remove that out of the budget. Also in 23, we paid off the debt we had associated with the energy savings project. So we used to have a principal and interest allocation out of the administration department, and you'll see that's no longer there.
How many years did that take?
15? 15 or 20.
Not 20, because it was after I was on the council. so
Okay, it's
probably
15. Yeah, it was 08. We did it in 08 and paid it off in 23, so it was a 15-year. Some other large increases you might see in the budget. In the police department, we're scheduled to replace some body cams. So you'll see a large jump up in one of their expense accounts of over $200,000. But that is something that we can't not do, and it's something I think we want to do. We want to keep that going. Another item of note, our physical plant, we've now officially renamed to the Department of Public Works. And within that department, they have physical plant staff, and then they also oversee our code enforcement. So the director, Mr. Clausen, asked to rename that department to something that might more show what they do as a whole, as opposed to just their physical plant duties. And let's see. We have some increased expenditures budgeted in parks for the soccer complex, because we know it's going to take more for mowing, upkeep of the facility. At this point, we don't have a revenue projection for that. Andrew, I think, wanted to wait and let that programs manager come on and decide what sort of soccer schedule they wanted to put in, if they wanted to, which programs, adult, child, both, and which seasons and so forth. So we'll have to get one good year under our belt in 24 of revenue for our new soccer facility, because we're also taking it back over. We've had a contract with an outside company to run that, so we don't really know what those numbers are. We want to wait and get our own actual numbers, and then we'll come back and we'll start budgeting that revenue in 25. Also, absent in this budget now is the street sales tax, because it went away at sunset. We still have funds in that account to use for projects that we've got identified, but we no longer have that revenue, so there's no budget for it. Our Parks A&P fund, you'll see it's showing a pretty large surplus, and that is intentional. We only budgeted the debt service requirements and then the operating reimbursement to the general fund. Everything else we're wanting to maintain for the community center and the pool once we get it online. So we know it's going to require some of that A&P funding to make all that happen. So we're not going to budget any parks projects in there at this time. That's about all I got, Mayor.
That's a pretty good rundown.
Thank you.
So, Tyler, I have one question.
Sure.
I think it's in the Emergency Operating Center, there's a significant decrease in salary. Is that changing because of what's happening there, or?
There's certainly been no decrease in salaries there. That's just going to be a result of funded positions.
Okay.
So I think in the years past, we probably budgeted for their full authorized positions. They never really get to that number. So we budgeted for the positions they currently have, and I think there may be 1 or 2 vacancies in there. So that would cause that number.
With the increase too?
With the cost of living increase, yes.
Council?
I will make a motion for the adoption of the ordinance 023-104 for our budget for the year 2024.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance for approved 2024 budget. Any further discussion?
And the emergency clause, there is one here as well, sorry.
And the emergency clause, thank you, Ms. Shields. Any other discussion?
I just got a comment.
Yes, sir.
Every year, Tyler, you do a great job with this. We don't have to have a whole lot of rebuttal, and we appreciate your work, man, we really do.
Thank you very much.
Really do.
Tyler and his staff, Felicia and Jamie.
Ms. Felicia?
You're amazing.
Yeah, they do a good job. Do a great job.
You too, Felicia.
Mr. Garrett?
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
And the emergency clause, Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Both passed 7-0. Thank you, Tyler. Okay, finally, a little bit of last of the year business, consideration to cancel the December 26th, or the 27th. I've got my dates off.
26.
Was a council meeting. That's up to y'all. I will have family from out of state in town, but I can make it here if you guys want to, or we can cancel. It's up to y'all.
What you say?
Cancel the December 2020, the December 26th council meeting if the council wants to.
You say you have an emergency surgery, so what you say?
No, I've already got that.
I'm talking about,
No, listen, there's not a lot going on up here. Yeah. So anyway, council, what's your thoughts on it?
I think that's a wise decision.
I do too.
Santa Claus might still be hanging out somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion, and a second, to cancel the December 26th city council meeting. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. Council, we have the employee appreciation party this Friday at 11:30. Would love for you to come out and help with that. And I know Ledbetter and I like to eat the French fries. We'll try to stay away from those this year. And we have an open house and a grand opening of the Conway Emergency Shelter will be Tuesday, December 19th, and it's going to start at noon. And I think Felicia's singing for the opening of that. Is that correct? You and Shawana did a duet?
really?
Well, anyway, y'all put that on your calendar. We'd love to see y'all and all that. And before we adjourn, I don't know if you could notice it, but Tapley's got a real unique spring to his step now. For those of you that are watching on TV, Chief Tapley decided to retire. And Darrell, I want you to know that I think William is a man of extreme integrity, extreme character, and I'm going to miss William Tapley, the chief, and I'm going to miss William Tapley, my friend. And I knew when he told me that your kids had moved to Hot Springs, I went home and told my wife, I said, Tapley's leaving. And but I want you to know, I apologize for all the times I've had to call y'all early in the night or anything else, but William has done a tremendous job for this city, and he will be missed. And I noticed that both of Judge Clausens are here. Would you guys like to say anything?
He is up in the front, hiding in front of you.
Well, I will. I know William, we go back a long way. And I have the greatest respect for him, the job he's done for the city, the opportunity that I've had to work with him. And I wish him well. I know that he's going to enjoy himself, and I'll find out in about a year if retirement's really that good. But I wish him the best.
The only same thing, I respect him. We work together for a long time now. I can say we've worked together a long time. And deputy prosecutor, the city attorney, senior work from the bench, people we've trained. Your fingerprint is all throughout Conway Police Department, and Conway's a better community because of your efforts. And I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
I knew William was going to leave because William's like me. He has a wife like mine. They're both educated and they both have a lot of common sense. William and I can't compete. So I knew when you said y'all were going to build that house, I knew William was gone. He has been a tremendous chief. And Tremendous training. Really, I've been around a lot of people, and your character's unmatched.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Come in here, council.
How's your arm, man?
I can beat the Cowboys with this. Come in here, council.
Get in there, Jeff.
Darren, where you going?
Can y'all come around, please?
Would anybody else like to say anything?
Come on, Andrew, come around.
I'll stand right in this gap right here. How about that? I'll be in the A gap.
Oh.
I was just trying to get to the.
3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1.
Are you taking Bobby's stuff?
I am still in Bobby's stuff today. Kinda, sorta. The podium in the way, but I know we can't.
podium's in the way.
Okay, so here we go. Andy, can you, there you
How
go.
about that?
Yep, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you.
And with excited. Well, here's what I can tell you is that I appreciate it very much. It's been a little over 27 years in law enforcement, but it's time for a different chapter. I think that leaving, I'm very comfortable in leaving because I know I'm leaving in good hands. Chris Harris is going to step in to the role that I've had, and I hope that he gets the opportunity to be more than just the interim chief and that he gets to do it full time because he's completely capable.
Can I make a suggestion? Tell me to come on up here so people.
We're good. I'm fixing to introduce him.
What takes you so long?
I'm waiting on you to sit down. With that, with Chief Tapley's retirement coming, the interim chief is Chris Harris. Come on up, Chief Harris. Chief Harris is a graduate of the University of Arkansas. He's a graduate of the FBI Academy, and he's a Navy veteran. And I had a chance to work around Chief Harris a lot lately. Last 3 or 4 years, he is very squared away. He too is a man of integrity, and I have no doubt about his continued efforts to lead the police department. I think Chief, you're going to do a great job as interim, and like Chief Tapley says, we're working to a final solution. And it wasn't hard to stick you in this position because I think you're going to do great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to advancing the department in the progress and success that had under the leadership of Chief Tapley.
Thanks, Chief. And then finally, Mr. Woodrow Cummins. I'm going to turn it over to you for a second, sir.
Some of y'all may remember when we did this study of health in Conway years ago, about 7 years ago. And what it is a compilation of just data that we collected primarily from Conway schools, from the Chamber of Commerce, and Conway Corporation, and of course the city. We have all 4 of these institutions obviously are going to have to work together from time to time, and they do a good job of that. All we're trying to do is collect the data and look at it. We're not going to make up any new test questions or anything like that. For example, how many housing permits do we issue? Is there a trend that we're seeing over time? If after we do this this next phase, that'll give us a 19-year trend. I don't know of many cities that have 19-year trends of the city's behaviors and performance. Sometimes when you look at, in the earlier study, we found out that we had several years that we had about 68% of the housing construction for the housing units in Conway were rental in nature. Behaviors like that impact the schools. Behaviors like that impact the police department. The thing of it, when you have a much higher volume of people traveling through and are not in home ownership, And so we want to see what that trend is. We really haven't looked at it collectively over a long period of time, and we're going to initiate it. It'll take a while. It took us over 9 months to collect all the data last time, and we're going to start after January 1st and just slowly work through it and get something, and it'll be available to the leadership groups for all institutions. It's really just what we've done, and we want to see how well we've done it. Sometimes people want to know what a healthy Conway is. We came up with a definition. We didn't want to, but people forced us into it. Has and can maintain a robust economy. That's, we talked about that tonight with the Chamber of Commerce. We're trying to contribute to that. Is diverse and vibrant, provides a strong educational environment. Of course, the city of colleges and our public schools, that's very important to Conway. It's been essential in our entire history of Conway. Contains public institutions that deliver essential community services needed to provide and maintain the general health, welfare, safety for the citizenry. That's a basic part of what we do, and we look at that. And at the last time, Chief, we went by and looked at the crime statistics and things like that. And all we're really trying to do is just collect things and look at the trends and sort of see how we're doing. And it helps when Conway Corporation knows what the other institutions are doing. It helps when the Chamber knows what the other institutions. We really need to maintain a collaborative and a collegial environment so we can continue to be a healthy Conway. And we certainly have been for quite a while. And I know everybody in this room wants to make sure that we continue to keep it a healthy Conway. So just thought, are there any questions about it?
I don't got any.
Look forward to reading it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cummings. And we got one last thing here. And tomorrow in Conway, Arkansas is Mark Ledbetter Day. Whereas we are here today to express special recognition to Mark Ledbetter and to recognize his commitment to the city of Conway and Faulkner County. And whereas Mark began his career as a firefighter with the city of Conway in 1975. And I can say this, I've been around a lot of great firefighters. The best firefighter I've ever known in my life is Mark Ledbetter. He's just a cut above the rest.
How much did it cost you?
It wasn't cheap. Whereas Mark retired from the fire department in 2008, he was the assistant fire chief. And whereas in 2013, Mark began his service on the city council for the city of Conway, where he currently holds a position as alderman and continues to serve. And I didn't say this, Ledbetter. And whereas Mark is smart, respected and devoted person with a great sense of humor, Mark has been a huge asset to the city of Conway and Faulkner County for many years. He has always been able to take on the next task or adventure in life with strength, confidence, a little laughter, and commitment. Whereas we wish Mark the very best in his retirement from Faulkner County, and that he will enjoy the special moments in his future with those he loved. Now, therefore, I, Bart Casper, Mayor of Conway, Arkansas, do proclaim Wednesday, December 13th, as Mark Ledbetter Day in Conway, Arkansas. If there was ever a guy who was meant to be a firefighter, it was Mark Ledbetter. He was good. Now, he and I had a lot of debates, like Ann and I have, and we're both red-faced and we say ugly things, but he was our goal was always what's best for the Conway Fire Department and the people of Conway. He was by far the best I've ever worked with. So, Ledbetter, I mean that.
Thank you for those words.
All right, council, that's all we have for tonight. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and God bless.